Welcome back. This is Ashley and this is yoga video number 4. And again today you're only going to need a mat and a comfortable place to start. So let's review our deep belly breathing that we learned about last week and start there, remembering to notice if you're breathing more in your chest or in your belly. So come into a comfortable cross-legged position and we'll go over that one more time. So like we learned last time, in your comfortable cross-legged position, you want to place one hand over your chest, one hand over the belly. Good, and I'd like for you just to begin to tune into your breath, your natural rhythm of breathing. You can close your eyes if that kind of helps to turn your focus. And what I'd like for you to notice is, does your chest move more than your belly? If so, that means that you're breathing in a stress mode. And what I'd like for you to see happen is that you begin to change your style of breathing, where you're breathing more in your belly. I have a son named Justice, and he's 10 months old. And one thing I love about watching him is how he breathes. So think about a child and a baby. When they're breathing, their bellies are just pumping in and out, right? There's almost no lift in their chest. It's all in their belly. And that's because the diaphragm is relaxed and pressing down onto the abdominals to press them out and blow them up kind of like a balloon. So that's what we want to achieve in our breathing. So I'd like for you to begin to elongate your breath and intentionally turn your focus to letting the abdominals relax and open up as you inhale. Moving the belly button away from the spine. Good, and on your exhales, draw that belly button into the spine. You should feel a natural compression around the abdominal cavity. Good, you can elongate your breath to the count of 4 on your inhales, and then on your exhales, elongate your breath to the count of 3. And that kind of helps just to turn your brain, to tell your brain to make this switch to deep belly breathing. Good, so it's normal to feel a light movement in the chest, but what you don't want to feel is big motions with the chest where you're using a lot of these muscles here to breathe. That just begins to create an even more exaggerated tightness in the shoulders, which we already carry from all of our work that we do in front of us, okay? So again, let's take 2 more deep breaths in and 2 more long breaths out. Good. Setting your focus on the rest of the practice and on your goals that you have in mind. Note that every pose and every moment that you spend in some sort of physical activity is one step closer to your goal. Great. So gently unplug the legs. Let's take that deep belly breathing, and we'll come into a downward facing dog. Good. Lift the knees off the mat. Draw the hips up and back. Good. Remember, you're wanting to shift the weight off the hands and bring it more into the heels and the feet. Now again, it's normal if you can't draw the heels all the way down, and you have to keep the knees slightly bent. Good. Deep belly breath in. And long breath out. And now what I'd like for you to do is shift the weight from one foot to the other. So you're rotating the hips, just kind of leaning them to the right, leaning them to the left. Notice how that changes the stretch. Good, and let's bicycle the knees by bending one leg at a time. Good. And if at any time during the class this just becomes too hard, you can drop down into a child's pose, which we're actually going to go to next. So, knees wide on the mat, toes together, set the hips down and back, and relax the forehead. Good. Deep belly breath in and out. And inhale, come back up onto all 4s, tuck the toes under, lift the knees off, downward facing dog. Good. Just like last class, inhale, come into high push-up, Remember, one straight line between the head and the heels. You can drop the knees if you need to. Again, there's still one straight line between the head and the knees. Exhale, low push-up. Draw the elbows into the side, bringing the chest down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, down dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, and back. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale, high push-up. Good. You can drop the knees if you need to. Exhale, low push-up. Chest comes all the way to the ground. Inhale, upward dog. Remember with up dog, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Exhale, down dog. Pull the hips up and back. One more time. Inhale, high push-up. Drop the knees if you need to. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward dog. Tuck the tops of the toes down. Lift through the chest. Good. And exhale, come into child's pose. Knees wide on the mat, toes together. Set the hips back. Good. Inhale, come back up onto all fours. And on your exhale, I'd like for you to lower all the way down to your belly. So for Superman pose, I'd like for you to bring the tops of the toes down and bring the heels together. Notice how you naturally have to engage the glutes to do that. Good. Take a deep breath in. Extend the arms above the head. And on your exhale, I want you to lift through the lower back to lift the hands up and the feet gently off the ground. So everyone's going to have different degrees at which you can do this. Some are going to have a really high extension. Others are going to be very low and just barely off the mat. Any of that is fine. I want you to focus on the lower back, just making sure you're not compressing or hyperextending the lower back. Okay? Good. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands underneath or like a pallet underneath the forehead, and just relax the head and the lower back. You can even breathe into the abdominals. Notice how the belly is pressed away from the ground on your inhales. Good, and on your exhales, how it's pressed into the spine. Great. Unplug the hands. Come back to Superman. Extend the arms, inhale. And on your exhale, lift the body. Good, again, you're just lifting the hands and the feet off the mat, and everyone's going to have different degrees at which they're able to do this. Good, breathe. And exhale, let's make a pallet underneath our hands and lay our head down on the opposite side. Good. And for one more back extension, you can bring your palms underneath your shoulders just to kind of rest the upper back. What I'd like for you to do is to bend the knees, bringing the toes as close to the bottom as you can. Good. And I'm going to reach the hands back for either the tops of the feet, the ankles, or the calves. Or if you can't reach the feet at all, just extend the arms back behind you, kind of like Superman, but Superman going backwards, okay? So you can grab the tops of the feet, take a deep breath in, and then your exhale, I'd like for you to pull the feet away from the bottom. So you're lifting the chest up. Good. Grabbing the feet, holding the strength in the legs, keeping the knees down. Good. Exhale and release. We're going to try that again. Just resting the lower back. Inhale, and on your exhale, draw the feet away from the body. If you can't grab the feet, what this pose could look like is doing your best to open up the chest and reach the hands back towards the legs. Good. Good. Breathe. Feel the breath pressing against the ground. Inhale. And exhale, release. Let's come back up into a child's pose. Excuse me. Bringing the knees wide on the mat, toes together. Set the hips down and back. Good. And inhale, walk the hands back, and you can come to a comfortable cross-legged position. Great. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope that your body feels different and that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.